Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sunday evening Zoom call for Wealth Warriors. My name's Andy Galloway, and I'm going to be talking to you for the next hour or so about Wealth Warriors, who we are, what we do, why we do it. If you aren't familiar with this concept, you maybe won't understand it the first time through. So just keep watching, watch future videos, go back to my YouTube channel, watch videos we've produced previously on the same subject. And when it makes sense to you, you'll realize it's an amazing system that can help and support you with your attempts to become wealthy, personal wealth and generational wealth. That's the whole plan. So I'm going to run through a standard presentation that I've done on a PowerPoint presentation. Some people don't necessarily like PowerPoints. If that's you, I apologize, but I like to use PowerPoint because it means I know I've covered everything that needs to be covered. Otherwise, I just sort of go off with different angles, different tangents, and sometimes I miss things, which I really don't want to do. So let's get this screen sharing on the go. Just looking at my options for sharing the screen, I think I won't insert myself into it. I will just show you the presentation itself. And I believe you can see that now. You can see the mountaineers coming up from the valley below to the top of the mountain to where the Bitcoin is. The Bitcoin representing your bright and shiny future that you're going to have to work for. It's not going to land in your lap. You've got to work for it. But it's better than the alternative, because in the alternative, you don't have a bright and shiny future. You're under the control of other people who don't have your best interests and your family's best interests at heart. You probably realize that, you probably know that deep down inside, the only person who really cares about you and your future is you. There's no government, there's no financial institution, there's no economic institution that is invested in what you do. If you succeed or you don't succeed, they don't really care, as long as they get from you what they need, which is predominantly your obedience and a lot of your money. So if you don't like the sound of that, then you need to do something for yourself. You're welcome to join with us. We're all swimming upstream rather than just swimming downstream, because only dead fish go downstream. Live fish try to swim upstream, and that's where our future is. We need to go through a little bit of a struggle in order to break away from what everybody else is doing. I can't remember who it was. Somebody wants to find success. They said that if you want to be successful, observe what the masses are doing and do the opposite. So that's kind of what we're doing. We're not doing what everybody else is doing. We're trying, even people within this part of the industry, the online business industry, we're not doing the same as those masses either. We're doing something different. We're striking out on our own, and we're forging our own path through the jungle. And it's going to be hot and hard work, and there's going to be scratches, and we're going to encounter obstacles and so on. But eventually, we will get to where we want to go, not where somebody else has already dictated that's where we should go. So that's kind of our background, if you like, for setting up Wealth Warriors. We are financial freedom fighters. We are each financial freedom fighters in our own lives, and nobody else is going to do it for you because they don't care about you. So a quick disclaimer. I'm not going to give you any financial or investment advice tonight. We're not an investment platform. We're a community. We deal with other platforms, some of which are investment platforms. You'll see that as I go through a small part of the presentation about what the different platforms are. So we're not that. We are a community of people, and as a community, we use those platforms. However, if you do decide to invest in any of the platforms that we discussed this evening, only use money you can comfortably afford to lose and carry out your own due diligence. Another way of saying it is, if you're thinking of putting some money into one of these platforms, and if the loss of that money would cause you hardship, if you can't pay your mortgage, you can't pay your rent, if you will lose your house, if you have to cash in your pension fund to get that money, it's too much money. Don't do that. You'll see how we do this. We certainly do not advocate that you put a lot of money into any of these platforms. I know it takes a longer time to do that, but it's a much safer option. There are plenty of people out there that will tell you that what you need to do is put as much money in as you can, get as much in there working for you as you can. Okay, that unfortunately, down that road, madness lies. to quote J.R. Tolkien. So what is the problem with online business? Why am I so against online business? Well, the reality is I'm not. I absolutely love online businesses, but what people refer to as online businesses very often aren't. Okay, many of them are scams. I've investigated 250 or so companies. I've lost count. I lost count at around 240. So every week I just add a couple more onto that number. And I think I'm in the right ballpark. I've investigated a lot of companies, and the vast majority of them, I'm talking about out of um, out of 250, probably 230 of them are scams or have been scams. When you know how to identify a scam, it's easy to avoid it. Of course, you upset your friends who think they've come across the map to the city of lost gold, or the lost city of gold, El Dorado, and it's hard to tell people they haven't, or even if they have, you're not interested in going there because it doesn't fit your long-term plan. Okay, so there are just too many scams out there. We try to avoid them. Without a system, you can't avoid them. You will once in a while you'll get involved in something, and it's horrible when you work faithfully, you put some money in there, you do some presentations, maybe go to presentations, you talk to all your friends about it, they all laugh at you, but you've got courage, you've got faith, and you persist, and you rope a few of your friends into these things, and all of a sudden it turns out you wake up one morning, it's all gone, the money's all gone, the company's gone, your business is gone, your business credibility is gone, your friends have gone, they've lost their money as well, they don't like you. Okay, and it's hard to realize that those people who told you that it was a scam were right all along. Even the people who told you it was a scam when they didn't even know it was a scam, they just kind of thought it might be. They were right, even though they didn't realize they were right. So there are too many scams. There are other businesses that are not scams. Scams are set up to deliberately take your money. Some of these businesses, they're set up in good faith. They've got a good idea. They've got a good platform. They've got a good system. But what they don't have behind them is the wherewithal to make a business operate properly. You know yourself from your own high street near where you live, there are businesses that were there 5 years ago that aren't there now. They weren't scams. People sold their, took equity out of their house, maybe, cashed in their pension fund, bought all the stock, took out a lease on the property, got a bank loan, produced a business plan, employed people, got all the stock in, worked hard for months and months and months before eventually it failed. So it doesn't mean that it's a scam. It's just it wasn't the right business. They didn't have the right product at the right price point in the right area with the right customer base and so on and so forth. Lots of reasons why businesses fail. I used to do that for a living, is identify businesses for how they failed and why they failed and so on. I did that for about 35 years, alongside a few other things as a business consultant that I did. So we want to avoid businesses that there's somebody's good idea, they've got a great idea, a couple of coders, produce a platform, even if they've got $20 million in their back pocket. In one of these operations, $20 million isn't a huge amount of money if they've got to fund it out of their pocket when things, when the market takes a downturn or the business doesn't take off the way they thought it would, and they've got to pay out all these commissions. Okay, $20 million isn't a huge amount of money, and it soon runs out. And we see so many of those, people that have worked hard, tried hard, had a great idea, likable people. If you met them, you'd love them. But they didn't, their business wasn't set up to succeed. Doesn't make them bad people, just that's the way the world goes. A lot of people try to run businesses when they're not really qualified to run businesses. When I say qualified, I mean they don't have the knowledge, the information, the understanding of how business works. So there are some businesses that aren't scams, and they're not, they don't go bust, but they do get shut down by regulators and government departments. I'm not going to go into spend any more time on that, but suffice to say that governments that don't understand businesses, some businesses will just shut them down. They will accuse them of breaching rules and regulations and shut them down, or face going to prison, or at the very best, 5 years in court, costing them millions upon millions of dollars to fight off something. And then after 5 years, the government's proven wrong, and they say, "Oh yeah, we're sorry about that." And you see this with individuals as well. Governments take individuals to court. These people go bankrupt long before they're ever proven innocent. And it's a horrible, horrible system. So we avoid all of those. and we find the few gold nuggets in there, the few gems, the few diamonds that there are, if you could take a huge amount of dirt, and somewhere in there you would find something other than dirt. You maybe find a little bit of gold, maybe a small diamond or two, a small sapphire or two. So you'll find something valuable, and that's what we do. We sift through all this rubbish, all this dross, and eventually we find the few little nuggets that we're looking for, and then we analyze those and make sure they're what we want. And if they meet all of our criteria, then we will join with them. So we have 5 platforms. We're going to talk tonight about a 6th one, but that's kind of how we do it. We don't just think, oh, that looks good, or we know somebody who's withdrawing money from that business, or what a nice shiny website, okay? Or even if they tell a nice story. Not interested in a nice story. I'm interested in is it a good solid business, and is it going to run for a long time? Because it doesn't matter how much money you make in online businesses or any other business, you cannot become truly free. So that's what we're talking about is we're going to talk about making a bit of money. We're also talking about using that as a basis to become financially free. Individually, we're doomed to repeat mistakes of the past. So this is what we can do about it. We don't want to repeat mistakes from the past. We want to avoid the pitfalls. We want to work together and avoid the pitfalls, start making headway, start making something happen, put things in place that are going to stay in place that we can build on and we can grow from there. Because we're safer together, and with safety comes time. And that's time to the reason time is important is because we don't want to fall into this trap of taking all of our money, like I said just now, take the equity out of your house, get a mortgage when you paid your mortgage off 20 years ago, and now you've got to take out another mortgage to fund one of these projects. We don't want to do that because we start small and we build big, but that takes time. You're not going to start small and you've got a big business next week or next year. It's going to take time. And so that's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to cash in on this get rich quick mentality that is prevalent in this industry. And anybody who does try to convince us that we need to get in and put everything in, then treat that with suspicion. They don't have your best interests at heart. They want as much commission off of you as they can get before the whole thing goes bust. And I think I could say that without fear of contradiction. So what are the benefits? Why would you want to do this? Well, the benefits are the 7 concrete benefits. The first one is you will never lose all of your money to a scammer again. Because if you're not selling your house and cashing in your pension fund to put it all into something, even if we've given our money to a scammer, we've only lost $100, $200, maybe $1,000 if you've been really bullish on some of these projects, okay? But that won't ruin your life. It won't cause you to go bankrupt. It'll be annoying, but you won't lose all of your money to a scammer ever again. Benefit 2, you'll protect your permanent network of contacts. I said earlier, I told the story about your friends don't like you anymore because they got into something with you, put a load of money in, and it's all gone. And the reason they don't like you is because they blame you, and that's fine because you blame you as well. In this type of business, there is always an opportunity to build passive income and also to do some team building. And a lot of people shy away from the team building. And the reason is because they did something before, they roped all their friends into something that went wrong. And now, they don't want all that embarrassment of upsetting their friends, getting them into something else and losing more money. And, they just can't take the embarrassment. All the horrible feelings of having done that to a friend. You don't need to worry about that with Wealth Warriors because we're totally upfront with them. It only costs a few $100s to get involved in any of these projects, and and you're not guaranteed, but we have checked out these companies really as far as we possibly can. Some of us have been earning off of some of these platforms for more than a year and a half now. So we're pretty confident that things are running as they should be. So we can start to introduce our friends at a very low level, and we're honest with them. We don't know. No, there are no guarantees with anything. The longest running business in history was a business that the family used to build all the Buddhist temples all over the world. Every Buddhist temple that was ever built was built by them over the last, I think it's 2,200 years or something like that. I'm not sure the exact period, but it's thousands of years, not just a few hundred years. Okay, they went bust about 4 years ago. So there are no guarantees with anything, and we're honest about that right from the start. And that's why, as well, we say don't put all your eggs in one basket, because we don't know if that's a good solid basket. Okay. And we want to make sure we're holding our own basket as well. So have lots of baskets and have a few eggs in each of them. So we're honest with your friends about that. And so your people feel much more confident about bringing their friends into these projects with us. Benefit 3, you're going to build future business much faster with far more profit. I'm going to show an illustration in a minute and you will see how that works. Benefit 4, you build one business. You can. Some people like to build 2 or 3 of them. Some of them build all 5, but you can just focus on one business, and then through the magic of osmosis, you bring people along to these presentations, let them watch this video, for example, and they will want to get involved in all the other businesses that we are promoting. So you might be interested in one, they're interested in a different one. So they get into one with you, but they want to grow this other one, and they introduce somebody who's now interested in a third business. So we have no control over that. In fact, we want it to happen because you can multiply your effort. You're not just trying to find people who want to do that one business. You can start small and build big over a period of time. You will recoup loans and mortgages and recent expenditure. I'm not going to go into that in any detail. We do another presentation on a Wednesday evening at 10 o'clock UK time, and I will go through all of the platforms with a lot more detail, and you'll understand that any recent expenditure from your bank account over the last 3 years. Could you imagine all the money you've spent from your bank account? You can reclaim, also not reclaim. You can recoup all of that money that you spent from your bank account. It might have been to go on holiday, buy a new car, buy a birthday present for somebody, pay your mortgage. It could be for anything. It doesn't matter why it left your bank account. You can recoup all of that money back again. And if you were to total that up over 3 years, over however many bank accounts you've got, you'll probably realize there's actually quite a pretty penny. Okay, so you can do all of that. How many mortgages have you had in your life? How many loans have you had in your life? You can recoup all of that money. And you can become free, wealthy, and live an abundant life. We have processes in place where you can become wealthy and free and live an abundant life, which is an awesome thing. Money on its own doesn't cut it. Very often when people have more money, it just causes them more problems. When you can become free and live an abundant life, that peace of mind, that freedom to do what you want, the freedom to do what you want with money, give some of it away, buy some of it, invest in some futures, the future for yourself and your family, enjoy life's luxuries now. Just do what you want with your money, knowing there's going to be an abundance of more money coming down the track towards you. So that's a tremendous, tremendous thing to aim for, not just have a bunch of money that's going to cause you more problems than it solves. So I'm going to give you an illustration now of how it works. Basically, I'm going to tell you these assumptions. With a lot of things you're going to explain, you need to make assumptions, because what I'm going to tell you right now isn't true. But if I make these assumptions, I can say, this is how it works. Wealth Warriors deals with 4 platforms. We deal with 5, but let's assume we deal with 4. You have 10 people in each platform, and you're making $1,000 per month in each platform. So let's see what that looks like. This is you. This is you. You've introduced Alan, Bell, and Chris, and they've introduced some of their friends into platform 1. And the business structure of platform 1 is such that when you have a structure like this, you're going to be making $1,000 per month. Okay, so that's platform 1. All the other people in your team there, they're all going to be making different amounts of money based on the amount of effort they've put in to get to where they are. So let's move that out of the way now, because we're going to introduce platform 2. And what you may have noticed is platform 2 is exactly the same. You have introduced Alan and Bell and Chris, and they've introduced their friends in exactly the same places, which means that your income now has gone up to $2,000 per month. And again, it probably won't, because this would mean that the compensation plan for platform one and platform two are exactly the same, and they're probably not. So, but you're going to earn off of both platforms. So let's move that out of the way and introduce platform three. So again, this is you. You've introduced Alan and Bella and Chris, and they've introduced their friends. Your income's gone up to $3,000 per month. And we introduced platform four. And you have introduced Alan and Bella and Chris, and they've introduced their friends. And your income now has gone up to $4,000 per month. So we'll park that there. Now we're going to run like this for however long we need to. We're constantly looking for new platforms, but let's suppose we don't find any. And you're constantly looking for new friends and contacts and so on to join your businesses, but let's suppose you don't find any. And your income stays at $4,000 per month every month now for the foreseeable future. At some point, something happens to platform four. Maybe the person running it doesn't want to do it anymore. They want to sell it, but they can't find a buyer. So eventually they have to shut it down for whatever reason. Maybe the government shuts it down for them, and platform four has gone. So what happens to your income? Well, it drops all the way from $4,000 per month down to $3,000 per month. So you haven't lost everything that you put into this enterprise, because you still have three platforms producing $1,000 per month. So as I said earlier, you won't lose all of your income, you won't lose all of your money to anybody, whether it's a scammer or a failed business or a deliberately closed down business. It doesn't matter. You have more security than if you just had that one platform. So now my job is to go out and find you another platform. Let's call it platform five, just to be original. And as soon as you get involved in platform five, you introduce Alan and Belle and Chris, and they introduce all of their friends in exactly the same places as in platform one, two, and three. And so your income goes back up now to $4,000 per month. And again, we're back in this position where we can run like this for years. What's actually going to happen is we're going to find a platform six, a platform seven. You'll introduce a few more people, all of your people, and introduce a few more people. And when people get into one of these platforms with Alan or you or Chris or whoever, they'll get into one platform, and then over a period of time, they'll be exposed to the other platforms. They'll come to a presentation like this, and they'll be told it's actually beneficial for you and all of your people to get involved in all of the platforms, not just the one you got in that you liked. And you'll see that in just a minute. So if you want the benefits, you must follow the rules. I'm not going to go through all the rules, but I'm going to go through the most important one. I say this every single week, and you can guarantee within a few days I'm going to receive phone calls from people who want me to break rule one. Rule one is don't sign up in any other platform that comes along. If it's a good platform, we will adopt it at some point. So by all means, if somebody tries to interest you in a platform, by all means, bring it to our attention. We'll investigate it, we'll look at it, and if it's suitable, we'll bring it into the portfolio. However, if you think, well, it's a good business, I want to get in first, I want to be the first one in and have all these wealth warrior people join below me, okay, that's not the smartest move. It sounds like it's logical. It sounds like that's the thing you should do. What you're actually doing is destroying your future business. You're destroying your ability to build this system the way we're talking about it. Because what will happen is all of your people will do the same thing. They'll just be out there trying to join anything that they can, trying to get ahead of the game. And to have this mindset where I've got to get in first, I've got to be the first one, get this early mover advantage, be the first one in, that's where most people run into problems, because sometimes you just got to sit back and let the platform prove itself for 6 months or a year. If it's a good business, it'll still be there in a year. Okay. If it's not, then the people that got in first are the ones that lose all their money, lose their shirt. Okay. But also, if instead of getting in with the people that introduce you into wealth warriors, if you get in and try and get those people involved in your other business, we can't adopt that wealth warriors. Then it would just mess up everything we're trying to build. We want to build something that's going to be here for the rest of our lives, for the rest of our children's lives. Bear in mind, the platforms come and go. The platform is totally unimportant. So if you're saying, I want this platform to be more important than my wealth warriors community, then you've missed the point completely. The community is what's important, and you build the strong community by getting into the same position in the same lines of sponsorship in every single platform. Don't try and put one platform above your Wealth Warriors community, because you will just destroy it completely. And I've seen it. I've seen people do that. You know, one minute somebody's got 100 people in their Wealth Warrior community, and the next minute they've got 20, and they say, "What have I done wrong?" And I say, "Well, you tell me." And so I got them involved in this, and I said, "Well, that's what you did wrong, because it's not part of the system we're promoting. What you've taught them is do your own thing." And that's the thing that's caused all the problems in the first place. People were just doing their own thing. So I labor this because it's not what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, I can't remember the word, but it's not natural. You know, we have this mindset, and we're taught to have this mindset. Get in first, get as much money in there as you can, get as many people in after you as you can. And that's just a waste of, you're really wasting your talent by doing that. I think I've labored that enough. So do sign up in all the platforms that we adopt. Again, some people say, well, I like this one, so I'll do it, but I don't like that one, so I won't. Okay, but you might have some people in this business who like this other business. So what are they meant to do? You can't give them a referral link. So they're going to what, sign up with somebody else? Well, no, we don't do that. We want to maintain the lines of sponsorship. So don't think about it. If it's a Wealth Warriors platform, just join. Do the minimum. If you're not interested in building that particular one, do the minimum. But then when people do get in that want to build that platform, at least they can maintain lines of sponsorship, and you'll make some money in this business you're not even interested in, that you're not even building. Okay, so do sign up in all the platforms we adopt. Maintain lines of sponsorship. That is vitally important. Get everybody in your team to do the same. You haven't got to be an expert on the platforms, but do know a little bit about the various platforms. So again, I'm not going to try and convince you about the rules. The rules are the rules. Do them or don't do them. It's entirely up to you, but you won't get the benefits of Wealth Warriors if you don't follow the rules. But that's an important thing. Remember, platforms come and go, but the community is permanent. In 5 years' time, I like to think we'll be still dealing with some of the platforms we're working with now, but there's no guarantees. But what you can do, what you can guarantee is if you build a community, regardless of what the platforms are, the community will be around in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. So that's what's important. The platforms are not important, even if you can get to be the most important kingpin in the whole organization. That's not what's important. So what are our criteria? One, it must be available everywhere, no exclusions anywhere, because that breaks lines of sponsorship. It must have a unilevel compensation plan. People must be able to join for free or get involved for a low entry cost, $100. Some of these platforms now are pushing up towards $200, because then if we can do those three things, we can maintain lines of sponsorship. It must be based on real world applications. I hate these money games or shell games. You give me $100 for 7 days and I'll give you 5% a day. Absolute drivel, rubbish. These things, there's just so many of them around. None of them are real. None of them have got any business behind it, no company behind it, no wherewithal. It's they're getting the money. They're either obtaining their money illegally, and there are several large, dare I say, illegal operations that are using the internet to launder their money. No, honestly, you won't believe me, but it's true. There's a lot of money laundering goes on on the internet. So it's worthwhile, even if they give you, you give them $1 and they give you $2. That dollar they've now got is legitimate, and you've legitimized it. So there's a lot of that happens, but also a lot of these businesses are just paying out the old people with the money that comes in from the new investments, and it's all gonna fail at some point, because these scams are operated by algorithms. When they cross a line on the algorithm, they shut it all down and run away with all the money. But if it's based on real world applications, then that won't happen. We like to verify the company's legal status, its involvement in real world activities, where they are, who the owners are, who the directors are, what type of businesses, what type of structure they've got, what their startup capital was. whether they're doing their filings every year with their local government, the fact they're registered and formed properly as a corporation. Just there's so much stuff to check. And very often my first check is to look at their address, and I find that they're trying to run a multi-billion-dollar investment company from a two-story flat, sorry, two-bedroom flat above a chip shop in Croydon. Okay, and I say to people, sorry, this is a scam. This just can't be real. And they go, oh no, it's absolutely real. I withdrew $10 the other day. So just that's not important. You know what I mean? So we must be able to verify the company's legal status. If we can, we want to meet the owners, the CEO, and so on. The compensation plan must be viable and sustainable, and we must all be able to get behind it. In other words, it's not morally shady, it's not ethically dodgy, it's something we can all get behind. We may not be crazy about it, but at least it's something that doesn't offend our sensibilities. So let's talk about the adopted platform first, and then we'll talk about the new one that I'm interested in. The Republic of Old Souls is part of the freedom movement, and you can join as a member for free, and you can then request to become an advocate, and as an advocate you can then introduce other people. So you can join for free and start your education, watch some videos, go on some webinars and so on. So that you can learn how to run this system, because they don't do it for you. What they do is they teach you what you need to do in order to follow some of these protocols. For example, the infinite money protocol is an incredible way. This is how you can live an abundant life, an abundant life for the rest of your life, just by following one of their protocols, the infinite money protocol. So, and they have several other protocols. So it's an incredible business. It's huge in the sense that there's a lot of information to know. There's a lot of stuff to do. You'll need to have a certain amount of dedication to your own future success. But there are so many people that are doing this because the alternative is to continue just breathing your own bit of the air, drink your own bit of water, keep within your lane, do as you're told, be a good consumer, be a good voter. Shut up and don't ask questions. And most of us are not built like that. We don't want to do that anymore. We've done it enough. So we're interested in this Republic of Old Souls, become part of the freedom movement, and become free within our own lives. BitHarvest is a great business. There's a number of elements to BitHarvest. The bit that we're interested in is to purchase electronic devices that earn you a passive income every day paid in Bitcoin, and to introduce some of our friends to that so that they can purchase electronic devices that earn you a passive income every day paid in Bitcoin. Simple as that. We don't necessarily, I'm not saying don't get involved in the other things BitHarvest are doing, but it's not necessarily in order to build wealth warriors. You just need to do these two things. So BitHarvest, great business. BitNex is a great business as well. I've just had a recent revelation about BitNex. There were some challenges with some European banks. A lot of people said, well, are they actually dealing with banks? Is that real? Well, they had some problems with the European banks. They had to do a certain thing in order to sort that problem out. I thought, well, sorry, it wasn't so much with the banks, it was with the changes to the banking regulations in Europe. And I thought, well, that kind of rings true, because if they weren't actually dealing with the banks, then they wouldn't have the problems when the regulations changed. So that gave me kind of a warm fuzzy, thinking this whole thing must be above board and legitimate, which I'm 99.9% of the way there anyway, but this just added a little bit more proof. So basically with BitNex, you buy smart contracts, and you can buy a smart contract for 2, 3, 5, or 7 years. Typically, a 2-year contract will return over $20,000, and a 3-year contract will return over $35,000. What you do, buy a smart contract for $100, and that's it. Come back in 2 years' time and collect your $20,000. For most people, there's this worrying factor. 2 years is a very long time, true, but then the other side of the coin is it's only $100. They've been around for 7 years, so if it wasn't going to work, there'd be a lot of people out there saying, yeah, I tried that and it didn't work. I've not heard of the only people I hear say things like that are these people who they put out videos on YouTube, and it's pay. They get paid when you click um, on their video, and you go and watch their video, and they get paid for that. So I don't give them any credibility at all, because they're not providing a public service. That's their business model, is to get you to click on their site. Um, there's other things you can do. I'm not going to tell you how much a 5-year or a 7-year contract will earn you, but you can find that out fairly easily by going to the site, and you can also buy bundles of contracts that multiply your earnings by 1.5 times what you put in. So, um, again, tremendous deal. Viralio is an AI trading bot. So you need to fund your Viralio account to pay for the service, and then you put money into an exchange account to trade with, and then you connect the Viralio account to your trade account. Viralio looks at so much information every single millisecond, or even faster, picosecond. There's so much information. Just takes into account so many different things, world events, things that are happening on the markets, political events, and so on, and then predicts which coins are going to move up and which are going to move down, and send signal to your exchange account for you to buy or sell certain crypto coins. The target is to make over 20% per month. We haven't achieved that yet, but we're very confident that that's what's going to happen in the near future. E-estates is a tremendous business. I should stop saying tremendous business, because if I didn't believe in them and believe they're all tremendous businesses, they wouldn't be part of our portfolio. So e-estate is about tokenized real estate. And so what they do is they acquire a property, they break it down into tokens, and they sell. You can buy as many of those tokens as you want. If you want to buy $1,000 worth of an apartment in Miami, $5,000 worth of a villa in Florida, $10,000 of an apartment in Dubai, you can do that all from your the comfort of your own home, sat there in your pajamas, maybe having a cup of coffee before you've even had breakfast in the morning. Okay, you don't have to do all the things that you would normally do in a real estate business, making contacts, contracts, legal stuff, financial stuff, none of that. So this is a tremendous business if you've ever been interested in making money from real estate. This is your thing. And if not, then when you make a lot of money from some of these other things, you want to know what to do with it, because you certainly don't want to put it in the bank and lose 15% a year. Then you just put a big chunk of it into here, and have your money make even more money for you. So it's a great way of increasing your wealth over a period of time. All of the above have team building programs, so you get additional rewards, bonuses, commissions, whatever you want to call them, for team building activities. Is optional, but what I want to do is to encourage people who have been hurt before. When I say hurt, I mean they upset their friends, and their friends convinced them that they should never introduce anybody else ever again to any of these platforms. I want them to think about that, because there's nothing wrong with introducing your friends to platforms. It's the way you do it. Okay, so I want people to start thinking about, possibly I could, if I can get somebody to put in $100 and make $20,000 in 2 years with no effort at all, maybe I do know some people that I should share that with. And in fact, not only do I know them, I feel like I have an obligation to share that information with a number of people. So maybe just start thinking about introducing people. You haven't got to, it's totally optional. Nobody's going to think less of you if you don't want to do that. But I'm trying to say, just put your big boy pants on, take your brave pills one more time, because you'll see that it's not the scary proposition that it used to be, or that it still is, following some of these other programs where you rope your friends into something that hasn't been checked out, that may disappear. So they're the adopted platforms. Let's talk about the proposed new platforms. This is the only one I'm going to talk about. I'm looking at 2 or 3 different platforms right now. One of them is Zopair. which is an AI trading bot. And I know you're going to say, yes, I know, but we already have Veralio. Some of you know Veralio hasn't performed the way that we expected it to. And so I'm thinking, well, there's nothing wrong with hedging our bets. If we can get involved in this one, seems to have really good track record so far. They've been testing it since April. So if we can do that, then it might not be a bad thing. If we end up with two of them, would that be a total disaster? Probably not. It might be a way of spreading the risk a little bit. We have no guarantees on Veralio. They may sort it out. They may not. They may decide it's not worth the hassle and pull the plug. So I'm still confident about Veralio, but that doesn't mean we can't explore other options, other opportunities. So it's got a great track record for 2 years worth of testing. It's automated trading and the funds are safe in your own exchange account, exactly the same as Veralio. It's set to launch in January 2026, but it's available right now. So we can start introducing people, teaching them, training them about how to do this. We can build big teams between now and January so that when it launches, we're all ready to go. There are 8 exchanges that are hooked up. And if I were to tell you them, you probably know there's Binance and I think Coinbase, KuCoin. The information is available. I can show you. I won't show you on this video, but if anybody's interested, I can show you around this back office after the video has been switched off. There's this is actually really cool. There's an optional manual signal server. So as well as the bot doing its thing, you could see on your screen it will say, "We think this trade is going to be a good one. We've got, for example, a 60% confidence, so we're going to hit," and it lays out 5 different targets. And it says, "I think we're going to hit all 5 of these targets, and with a 60% confidence." You might say, "Okay, I'll have a little bit of that," and you push the button, and then you see that it's hit maybe 4 targets, and you close it before it gets to the 5th one. Okay, so I'll show you some of that information in a minute. Everybody gets a demo account. I've never seen this with a crypto trading bot before, but everybody gets a demo account. So you can introduce somebody and they say, "Oh, I don't know anything about this." She said, "Never, not a problem. Let's sign you up for the demo account," or everybody gets a demo account anyway, whether you want one or not. So let me show you how to set up a bot, hook it up to an exchange, and then you can see the trades coming in. If you'd have done this with your own $25,000, this is how much money you would have made last month. So that's a really powerful thing for sharing with people. There's a great team building comp plan, 40% down to 8 levels. The records go back to the 16th of April, available in the back office. I'll show you page 1 if you like. So that's page 1. And you can't see a lot of stuff. What you can see is there's a lot of red there and not much, sorry, a lot of green and not much red. Now the red and green in this direction column here, don't worry about that. That's the short and the long. Short is red and long is green. It doesn't matter. That doesn't mean one is good and the other one's bad. However, when we're looking at the P&L and the remarks, then the ones in green are winners, winning trades, and the ones in red are losing trades. And you can see some of those percentages. We've got 6.9%, 6%, 10%, 12%, 15%, -13. Boo, we don't like that one. And even down here where you've got the stop loss hit, you still made 1.5%. This stop loss, you still got 1.69 because as the chart goes up, as the price goes up, then in this case, as the chart goes down, it moves the stop losses. So even though it hit the stop loss, you still made a profit. So I think that's a pretty good. And this is just, I say at random, this is just page 1 off of my back office. And there's and these pages, there's 260 pages. You'll see the same in your own back office when you register. It goes back to April. So you can see here you've got all the P&L and remarks, but also notice on the leverage there you've got 5x leverage. Again, that's something I don't normally see with cryptocurrencies. 5x leverage. I think that's tremendous. So yes, you can lose It means you can lose a lot of money as well as make a lot of money. But look at what's happening in the P&L, one loss out of 20. So I think that's pretty good. The other thing I want to point out is the duration. So the first one at the top there for 6.91%, you made almost 7% in 39 minutes, 6% in about 12 hours, nearly 11% in about 2 hours. So, there are some, if you go down the list there, one of them was 7 minutes. I haven't seen any here. Yeah, these were all, a few hours, but I've seen on some of the other pages it's a few days. So it's not always just a few minutes, but that's a tremendous result. I don't care who says it isn't. Um, so I thought I had something else to talk about with that. Clearly not, because I'm following my presentation. So the next thing I wanted us to talk about is Kinesis Money. We have a video to post. I should get the video on Tuesday, in which case I might just edit it a little bit and then post it for you all to see. But Kinesis Money looks like a tremendous system for where we're going to be able to park this money we're making in BitNex, the money we make from Republic of Old Souls, to be able to move money around the planet in different currencies, different fiat currencies, different cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, platinum, so gold, silver, platinum. Okay, and you can have a credit card where you can go down the high street and spend, and you set it up so that when you spend initially, you spend gold, and then when all your gold's gone, you sell Bitcoin next, and then you sell some of your dollars next, and then when that's gone, you sell some of your silver. So let's suppose you're buying a car for, I don't know, $20,000, and you've got $10,000 worth of gold, $5,000 worth of silver, $7,000 worth of Bitcoin. You can say, well, I'm going to pay the 10,000 in gold, the 5,000 in silver, and only the other 5,000 comes from Bitcoin. You can set that up in your back office. I think you can set a priority on 5 or 6 different assets on your card. And of course, most of us won't even do that. We'll just say, well, sell all my dollars first, and then anything else I need, sell some gold. So we might set up 2, but it's a great system. And in fact, I'm not going to say too much about Kinesis Money because there's a lot of stuff in the video that I'm going to post in a couple of days. And I think it will meet all of our current and future needs. It's a tremendous system. It's got a huge backing. It's got so many advantages over all the other banking systems I've seen out there. They don't even come close to this. One of the things I love is that you can set up an account, a Kinesis account, for your private estate. Some of you know I go on about private estates for the protection of your wealth as you create wealth, and this is where you can have a bank account that is basically as protected as a private trust. It becomes a private trust in its own right. But also this bank account, when you get money from Republic of Old Souls, they can transfer it directly into your trust within Kinesis Money. So therefore that money is completely untouchable by anybody. It can't be investigated. It can't be demanded from you. None of it. It's a private trust. It's something I've never seen in any other bank account. To be honest, that's exactly what I was looking at when I was looking at all these other bank accounts or banking systems I've checked into. This is the one we need for the future. I'm absolutely 100% certain of it. They've got a worldwide footprint, allowing you to truly operate as a citizen of the universe. You can make deposits and withdrawals in lots of different currencies. There's a partner reward program. It doesn't go down very far, but it's it does reward you for introducing people. You don't really want to be making money from people doing their banking transactions anyway, I don't think. You're making money by helping people with their businesses, BitHarvest and BitNex and so on. I'm not sure I'd want to be making money, from 20 levels down in a banking system. But certainly if you introduce people because if you were to introduce people to your current bank now, your fiat bank, they would give you $50 or something, So I'm fine with that. But I think with banking, it's different from another business. You can move the value of your money onto your MasterCard and within minutes be spending it on the high street. You get gold and silver rewards up to 2% on every transaction. So when I was saying earlier, you pay £20,000 for something, you've got 2% back on that, and also you get cash back on transactions through your Kinesis account anyway. So you could have earned $1,000. So instead of something costing you $20,000, it's only cost you 19. You might think that's not a good deal, but I'd rather have it than not. Okay, so our communications. We're coming to the end now of the presentation, so I'm going to skip through a couple of things, but I do want you to know we run a Telegram supergroup. So within the supergroup, there is one subject for BitHarvest and one subject for BitNext and one subject for Veralio and so on. There's also a subject in there for suspected scams. When I investigate a scam, I don't do it all the time, but a lot of the time I will write up why I think it's a scam or why we think we shouldn't get involved in it. There's also some businesses I come across that are good businesses, but they're not suitable for what we're doing with Wealth Warriors, in which case I write them up as well. And I tell people this is a good business. We're not doing it, but it is a good business. In my opinion, of course. There's also something there for motivational, sometimes motivational quotes or motivational flyers or whatever. So you can get in there and you find out everything that's happening with all of our platforms. So as well as all the platforms that have their own groups, their own chat rooms, their own support groups and so on, then we have all this information specific to Wealth Warriors for those platforms. Now we hold this Zoom call every Sunday at 10 o'clock. Attend yourself and bring new people. If you understood the presentation, the illustration I gave earlier, you'll understand why you want to bring new people. You can't talk to them about this. You can't promote this. I can't promote it. I can't get somebody involved in BitHarvest and then all of a sudden I'm going to start talking to them about BitNext. It's just and then all of a sudden I'm going to talk to them about Veralio. Okay, so what I do is I get them involved in one platform, whichever one that interests them, and then I will bring them along to a presentation, or more likely I will give them a copy of this video, and the video will explain to them why they now need to get involved in the other platforms. So you don't have to do it. So attend some Zoom calls, get some knowledge about the different platforms. With the Republic of Old Souls, there's a lot of information to start working your way through the webinars and books at your own pace. But I would say, get a little bit dedicated to it. Watch a few videos every week. There's a lot of information, but the reward is absolutely worth it. So then what you do is you get the referral links for all of the platforms, all 5 platforms, from the person who invited you to this presentation. You want to join with them, with that same person, in all 5 platforms. Register in all of them, and then get your referral links. With Veralio, you need to request a referral link from the company. With Republic of Old Souls, you need to request to become an advocate, and then you'll receive a referral link. I say get all your referral links and then pass them on to the people that you introduce or that you invite to see this presentation. And that way these people don't just join you in one platform, they join you in all 5 of them. And in future, they will join other platforms as they become available. So make a minimum payment, get each of them going as best you can. You may not be able to do that immediately. So you might just start with one, and in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, you fund another one, and then you fund another one, and so on. So it may be that you are missing out on commissions by not funding one of the platforms. So you have people join below you and they put money in and you've missed those commissions. Don't worry about it. Don't have a small-minded mentality towards that. Okay, so yes, you're going to miss that. You're going to miss those commissions, but that person's going to carry on building that business. Eventually, you're going to fund your business, and then you'll start making money from it. Don't think I won't pass on my link to people until I've done this. That's selfish. Don't hold people up just because you don't have the funds to do what you need to do. Look after your people first. Make sure they get in, make sure they get started. So ask your introducer to be added to our Telegram group or super group. Attend a Zoom call for each of the platforms that you've added funds, And then as we add in the future, so we add platform 6, make sure get the referral link, pass your register, and then pass your referral link to the your existing team members. Then get on a presentation for that new platform as soon as possible. So if you have 10 people in your group, then from the time you join till the time the last person joins should be maybe a day. If you've got 100 people, it could be 2 days. If you've got 1,000 people, it might take 3 or 4 days. If you've got 10,000 people, you certainly want it done within a week. You don't want it to be dragging on for months and months and months. You've got some of your people in the new platform, some of them aren't in the new platform. People are wondering what's going on, why they haven't got a referral link from their upline. Try and get everybody streamlined, get them registered, and pass their links on as quickly as possible. It makes you look more professional, and really this is what we're all about, is having multiple people, having the same people in multiple platforms. This is the backbone of what we're doing. So bring more people to the Zoom calls. You only have to promote the platforms you're interested in, and we'll do the rest. Build one platform and have 5 or more platforms grow below you. Okay, so that's a tremendous use of your time and effort. You're busy building, for example, Bit Harvest, but meanwhile, the people you get involved in Bit Harvest, you introduce them to Wealth Warriors, and now they're interested in signing up in BitNex and Republic of Old Souls and Viralio. Okay, just because you brought them along to a Zoom call or just because they watched this video. So it multiplies your effort. And if you're smart, you want to do as much multiplication of your effort as possible. I'm not going to talk about the Wealth Warriors registration system. I'm not going to talk about the landing pages. That's all. We'll cover that more on Wednesday. Or if you can't make it Wednesday, I did a video a couple of Wednesdays ago. There's a landing page in your e-estates business. You can customize it. There's so much marketing material around. I'm going to put these links up, and if you haven't written them down, then don't worry, come back to the video and have a look. But there's all this information available to help you build it. If you miss this information, get to the person who introduced you. They'll be able to give you this as well. So a quick reminder, we're building a solid foundation on which we can base our financial futures. We only work with companies that are in it for the long term. It's hard to build for the long term if every 2 or 3 years we have to go and find a new company. But of course, the way we build it means that that's not a complete disaster. It just means it's more difficult. We only work with companies that are above board, and we build a large asset which delivers us a large income, whether that's DeFi hybrid contracts, whether that's bit boosters, it doesn't matter what it is. Okay, we want a lot of it. We turn down far more platforms than we accept. I turn down more platforms just with a 5-minute look into who they are than I even research fully. Okay, so we're very fussy about who we get involved with, because we're interested in our own outcomes. We're not interested in being told what to do by anybody, whether it's a company, a government, a financial institution. It doesn't matter what it is. We're interested in our outcomes. We want to get out of this whole thing what we want, and so we need to create our own rules, and that's really what Wealth Warriors is all about. You're not going to get what you want by playing somebody else's game based on their rules. You just won't, because that game is not set up to benefit you. It's set up to benefit the people who own the company or set up the game in the first place. And you can disbelieve me all you like. You can think your favorite platform has got your best interests at heart, but it absolutely has not. It's got their own best interests at heart. That may coincide with what you want for a while, but you can't rely on that. Anything could happen. Successful companies sometimes want to sell and realize their profits, realize their value, sell it up to somebody else, and all of a sudden you're dealing with new management. There's I'm not going to go into this because there's so many different things that could happen, but we're not interested in being controlled. We're interested in the ones doing the controlling. We're in control of our own lives and our own outcome. Finally, it's important to remain safe on the internet and in the world of online opportunities at all times. So do not share your password or other credentials with anyone. Typically username, password, 2FA. Where it's available, set up your 2FA on your accounts. Two-factor authentication is the only part of the whole security setup that you are in control of. The company could get hacked and lose your username and password, and it's happened to a lot of big companies. Big government departments have all been hacked. Okay, the only protection you have when push comes to shove is your two-factor authentication. So set it up and protect it jealously. Otherwise, you could, I don't want to be too dramatic, but it's potential that you could lose everything if somebody hacks your account. Back up your passwords and your 2FA codes in a secure location. Write it down, keep it safe. Make sure the executors of your will or your living will or your power of attorney or your beneficiaries have access to the information. In the event that you're not around to do it for them, they should be able to take over and look after your money for themselves. And so just make sure they know where everything is, which buttons to push, which websites to go to, which Bitcoin addresses to use, and so on and so forth. Okay, make sure it's clear and concise and they know what it is. So welcome to Wealth Warriors. We are financial freedom fighters. We're not just going along with the crowd. We're trying to forge our own path to where we want to go. So get back to the person who invited you on this call or referred you to this video. They are ready and waiting to help you avoid scams, protect your permanent network, and create immense personal wealth. So with that, I'm going to stop the share and I'm going to come back to the room and say my goodbyes. So thank you guys and girls for being here with me. I really appreciate it as ever. We're going to do the platform presentation on Wednesday, 10 o'clock UK time. We're going to do a similar presentation to this on Sunday next week, 10 o'clock UK time. In this week, we've got the Kinesis Money video being posted. That should be on Tuesday. I've got no control over that. That's the guy who's got the video at the moment. We'll send it. He said Tuesday, but we'll see. I'm also going to be producing another or a series of videos about BitNex. It's going to be, each of the videos is going to be short, sharp, and to the point. I think at the moment it covers about 7 or 8 different aspects of BitNex. There's going to be, hopefully it's going to be a little series. At the start of each video, it'll point out that all the videos in the series. So you'll be able to just say, well, I want to know this about BitNex. I want to tell somebody about that about BitNex. And so just, there'll be a whole series of videos. I don't know when that's going to be available. I'm hoping the first one will be available this week. And some of you know I'm going to be doing an e-estate presentation on behalf of the company on Thursday evening, 8 p.m. UK time. All of this information will be posted in the Telegram supergroup. So as ever, I appreciate you guys being here with me. And I look forward to seeing you all again on the next one. God bless and speak soon.
I want to see you win. I want to see you absolutely smash every single dream you have. I want to see you overcome all of the barriers you face, and I want to see you succeed. I'm your biggest fan, your top supporter, and I'll be with you every single step of the way. You're destined for greatness, with or without me, and I want to see you achieve. Your potential is limitless, and your determination is inspiring. Keep striving for your goals, and I'll continue to cheer you on.